Welcome back. You've joined HOG Auckland Chapter. We're in Te Aroha at the moment, and we've teamed up with two other North Island chapters, Waikato HOG and East Coast HOG. It's a rainy Sunday. We are having our monthly chapter ride, and our road captain Dino made arrangements to connect up with a couple of other chapters, riders who wanted to come along and join us. Now, we rode from Auckland down to Kopu in Thames and met up with some Waikato HOG members right there. We rode from Kopu Thames, the two groups combined, about 12 bikes in total I think, through to Te Aroha, where we waited only a moment or two for our East Coast HOG Chapter buddies to come along and join us as well. We had a quick catch up and a little bit of a briefing on what we're planning to do, and then we hit the road. We're heading to Tauranga today. Now at Auckland HOG, we're lucky enough to have a big enough membership that we have rides every week, organised, scheduled, about half-day rides, but once a month we have what we call a chapter ride, which is a much longer distance affair, heading alternately either north or south. This one is a southerly bearing ride and leading into the country where Waikato and East Coast HOG both run their operations. So it made only good sense for Dino to get in touch with reps from both, the directors actually from both of the chapters, and they agreed, yeah, it'll be a good idea, let's get together. So it's just a pity the weather didn't play along with us, otherwise we would have had for sure a much bigger turnout. But nevertheless, with a smallish group, I think in total we had about 21 bikes, something like that, so it's a nice tidy little number to be riding around. And we're travelling along, as you can see here, from Te Aroha through to State Highway 24, the Tauranga Road, and that's what this particular video is going to capture. Now, most of the ride is along this stretch here, which is Te Aroha Gordon Road. When we reach the settlement of Gordon, pretty small one, blink and you miss it, but once we pass that, the road becomes Old Te Aroha Road. I really enjoyed riding along this road. The weather's a little bit subpar, but nevertheless the road's in good nick. It's a decent enough sized road. It doesn't have a whole lot of traffic on it, very little in fact. It's got a centre line all the way, so that's not a bad thing. No white lines on the side, so it's not that wide of a road, but in general the road's in really good condition. It's certainly way better than State Highway 16 that we travel on a lot up north. Yeah, the potholes up there on State Highway 16 can eat you alive. So you've seen a couple of guys get bounced clear out of their seats on those things. Lucky to remain upright. So yeah, they can really catch you by surprise. And while having heaped praise on the road, yeah, it's good. There is one sketchy moment coming up in a little bit when we get onto Old Te Aroha Road, as we're getting up there, Wairere Falls I think they're called, a corner there, and it's not the road's fault. A farmer had been walking his livestock, and it's winter, fields are really muddy and bad, and they deposited all that mud and rubbish on the road right on the end of a corner at the end of a pretty much an open road stretch. So that was a little bit, it was a little bit sketchy. I'm really enjoying this ride along this stretch of road, all the way from Te Aroha through to here. The weather, it's pretty, well, it's not great to be fair. It's raining really quite hard. You might not be able to tell quite how hard through the video because it's come out a lot clearer than I imagined, but the rain kind of really set the tone as well, with the low clouds hanging over the Kaimai Ranges to the left. Really pretty spectacular. Anyway, we're coming up towards Wairere Falls, and soon we're going to see what I mentioned earlier about the mud deposited right around an upcoming corner. Now, it was marked by slow down signs, but this is it right here. Kind of without even knowing that you're on it, there's this mud all over the road, and if you were unaware and really giving it a bit of a toot up here, you'd have some trouble. Another strange thing, like an apparition out of nowhere, an old fella just walking on the road, jandals and bare feet. It's freezing. So they make him tough down here, no question about that. He's walking on the wrong side of the road, he's unsighted for anything coming behind him. Well, great place for a walk though, I have to say that. Who wouldn't want to be out, I suppose. Now, like I said, this kind of riding, this kind of road, it's exactly what Harleys are made for, and it's the whole joy of them. I mean, I'm riding a cruiser. There's a lot of tourer bikes on here with the bigger frame. They're just made for eating up the miles and getting you there in comfort, and that's just what they do beautifully. You can ride these bikes all day, get up the next morning ready to just do it all over again easily, and it's the whole joy of having these bikes and riding around with the HOG chapters like we do. It's just a lot of fun. Just enjoy riding, getting out there, seeing the country, riding with your buddies, exchanging a few stories together, having a few laughs and socialising. That's what it's all about. Now we're soon approaching the end of Old Te Aroha Road, which means we've travelled along here nearly 40 kilometres. That's the distance from Te Aroha to Main, where we started, through to the main junction coming up ahead. You can see vehicles travelling from left to right. There's a T intersection coming up, and we'll be turning left heading up to Tauranga across the Kaimai Ranges. I've got some film of that. I might upload that in another video another day. Left up to Tauranga. If we turn right, it'll take us only a short way down the road there to Matamata, home of the Hobbits and the Hobbiton movie set village. Anyway, that's about where we're going to leave this one. We'll just leave it riding out, heading up towards the Kaimai Ranges, back on the main road. We've got painted white lines on the side, so you know we're on a main highway now. This is Highway 24. Anyway, ride safe, take care, have fun out there. See you next week.